question was asked about voting and the need for education of those who are voting. It is a very good idea to teach such a course. But the larger problem is that not only are people unaware of the nature of the country and the laws and history than which they live, but that people hear different news and they have difficulty knowing what to do, what to think, what to not think, because the influence on them comes from different sources. And so they have very different perspectives. When the Civil War occurred in the United States, there was a division in thinking. Those who wanted the ways that had been with slavery and plantations and the nature of the South in its blossoming days, and those that wanted to put an end to slavery and to have a different type of economy. And so two sides who had developed a different type of economy came to very different values and interests. And it is only when the winners win the wars in history that their values become the right values, and the values of the losers become the wrong values. But there is a value system beyond that, right and wrong. There is that which brings one deeper into love and kindness, and that which moves one away from love and kindness, both collectively and personally. And so the yamas and the niyamas have been principles of yoga that employ this. Other religions have tried to do this in their own way. Other cultures have tried to set values. But do those values move into the hearts of the people and of the leaders? And how to interpret them? That is where the key comes. It is the interpretation of values, and that can vary greatly. So someone can feel that they should practice loving kindness. They can feel that they are truthful, that they are honest, that they are upright, religious people. Yet, if their culture provides slavery, if they are a compassionate slave owner, they feel they are a noble person. They treat a situation by situation kindly and fairly. They may be firm, but they are fair. To them, they see that they are following those values. They are trying to be godly. To those who practice discrimination against women and see that women are the fairer sex, but not the decision makers, they don't see that they are ungodly. They see that they are following the natural way of nature as they see it. To those who start wars with other countries, it may be over power, it may be over territory, but it might be that they feel that their religion, their cultural group is right. They are the noble ones, and these others are evil people, aggressors that they must destroy and take the territory. They must assert their power over such unnoble people, ungodly people, isn't it? So you see, the problem is not merely education. The problem is perspective. What the person interprets as kind, what the person interprets as loving, what the person interprets as right and righteous. And then the problem becomes groupism. My group is right. My group is noble. My group and the cultural values that we share are the right ones. They are what I grew up with, they are what I know, and they are noble and fair. And we love God, and we are righteous people. So they feel they're following their religion, they're following their values, they are trying to be good Christians, they are trying to be good Muslims, they are trying to be good Hindus, but those ungodly ones of the other religion or the other culture that is impinging on their territory, that have done horrible acts that they can mention for generations back, they must be stopped. This thinking is the disease in the mind, the wounding and the reaction to that wounding. And all of these different values make a complexity in a species that has an extensive amount of aggression in its nature and very little control of that aggression. And so horrific atrocities are done one to another. Though it may be good to educate, are you educating or instilling a certain cultural value system? And perhaps that is good if that value system has more kindness in it. But it is hard to say in a species with multicultural, multi-valued backgrounds who is right and who is wrong, what religion is correct, what religion is false, what cultural orientation is correct, what cultural orientation is false. What is the proper relationship? Should you not have slaves but murder animals? Should you say one group should have the vote but not another? Should you say everyone should have a vote, even those people with no education and no sense of what they're voting for or against? What is the proper value? What is the proper way? Is there only one way? Human society is complex, and the humans have different values depending on their cultural orientation, the religion they share with those around them, and their group identity. And like a herd, different herds of deer or elk, they will have different herds with different leaders, and the leaders will clash. They will bring their horns onto each other, and the winner gets both herds. The other dies. So human beings as a species is an aggressive species that turn the aggression on each other and on all other living beings around them. Until at this time, they are in danger of destroying the world they live in or destroying themselves by destroying the other species by their incredible destructiveness or by their own technology, which they do not have the mental capacity to handle, so they can become self-destructive and blow themselves up. They put more energy into bombs to destroy others, even though they know that effort will destroy themselves as well. They must have more bombs and more bombs so that they can fully destroy another who they know will fully destroy them. What sense does this make? Yet, this is the direction of humanity. Why? Self-protection of my culture, my value system, my power, my territory. It's the same as the deer or the elk and the dominant leader vying for the territory and vying for constituents from the other leader. The human species has not evolved beyond these basic tendencies, even though the intelligence has evolved and has allowed for the development of technologies. So much of it has gone to war, gone to destruction, even when that destruction can not only destroy the enemy or the other, but one's own self. And then to destroy the planet, to cut the trees, to kill the animals, to pollute the seas, the water, the air. Humanity as an aggressive species that must learn to curb its animal tendencies for its own survival. Educating about the vote is good because it is an effort to bring common sense to people. But it will only reach the certain group. The larger masses are influenced by their leaders, their sources of information, and their own cultural heritage. They are also influenced by their own desires. So the price of food at the food market, the price of gasoline will make a difference in what they do. If their homes are destroyed and they receive no help, they will not like the government. So there is no simple answer of what to do. Indeed, education is the key. Education on a mass level. There must be the rise of Sadvipras, of human beings to power who have the welfare of all living beings as their first and foremost goal, not of their own religion, not of their own beliefs, not of their own culture, but of all beings. There is a transition going on, and for many years it was talked about that times will come of shift and change, and those times may become difficult, very difficult. In order to let the human society realize the error of its ways and have the humility to join together despite cultural differences, religious differences, racial differences, gender differences, differences of opinion, to join together to build a safe human society on the planet Earth, one that lives in harmony and develops the planet around them. How does humanity come from where it is now to that point? It is not an easy road. There are lessons to be learned, a little humility to be gained, and right leadership, collective leadership of all to take root. And even then, that leadership will seem to many an oppressor, for it will be a force that brings the world into order despite the desires of different groups. So, in some instances, it may be oppressive, in others, liberating. Humanity must evolve from its aggression and destructiveness to a larger perspective that takes the welfare of all into account and builds a noble human society with leaders not bent on their own power, but for the welfare of living beings. Democracy does not support this, nor do power-hungry dictators support this. Humanity moves into a new era, a new beginning. But in order for that to happen, the old ways must prove inadequate. There have been warnings of these times. Now they begin. But the new dawn, the sun of the light of a new beginning also shines bright amid the darkness of the fall. Hold to that light. Hold to divine love. Regardless of what happens, regardless of how difficult it becomes, know that there is a bright dawn rising, but before it is fully risen, the shadows become darkest. In the bright light, they are revealed until they are burned away. You have a cultural value for democracy, therefore you support it. You know that dictators that are cruel, inhumane, and glory in their own power are not mentally well living beings and should not govern society. Neither of these create the real solution. But when the human beings come together and collectively elect, select leaders who are noble men and women, intelligent people, who lead not out of popularity and crushing their opponents or being more wealthy than anyone else to buy their popularity, but men and women selected for their intelligence, their skill, their mastery, and their universal outlook. And together from all over the world, these leaders bring a society that can and will solve the problems, which will be more deep than they are today, and can and will bring peace, order, and harmony. We move from the Vaishyan age and values to the Kshatriyan age and values. The Kshatriyans are of a different ilk. Many of you would not enjoy such a society, as it is very orderly and authoritarian, but in a very benevolent sense. There is no dictatorial leader who revels in cruelty, abuse, and ill will, who wants to crush this group or that. There is no such leader, but a collective of leaders who, as a council, all have the intelligence and love in their hearts for all living beings, and who strive to have the optimum society to promote the welfare of all beings. It is a different type of authoritarian rule. It is not the rule of power mad dictators, but of a council of integrated human beings who hold the values of love and kindness and the welfare of all living beings. Do what you can to educate humanity, but the real education will come through the school of hard knocks. The human heart has the great capacity of love, a great capacity to align with the divine forces. It is time that capacity be mustered. All right? Namaskar.